Happy New Year, Happy New Year. May we all have a vision now and then of a world where
Happy New Year, everyone. May 2022 bring you lots of love, joy, health, and prosperity. I want to share with you some of the highlights of some of the YouTube videos I did in 2021. So join me, laugh along with me because I had a lot of fun creating these video clips. So let's go.
Yeah, so you're Quyn sitting in the water, and you can just see how clean the water is. Like,
Is it?
you know, oh yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, let's go out more. Hey, come on.
Yeah, we can just wander out here. Nice and, you see the little fishes swimming around in there. Maybe you can't see them.
I want to go. What's going?
I don't know. Dig your hand in there. Pull out some sand dollars. Show the fans.
Oh, it's cold. No.
Oh, big chicken.
We were swimming out there earlier, though. But now it's cold.
Yeah, and the tide's starting to come in. The waves are. Well, there's some boats that went by earlier.
That.
See you soon. Swimming. How do I keep up with my life? Oh boy.
It's actually good. How deep are we now?
I don't know. Deep,
I can't read. I can't read anymore. Oh, it's good.
Okay, so now here we're coming right out onto the ocean. We're going to turn to the right.
So go over here?
Yeah, so here you're back on those rocks, right? So I'm going to stay to the right. Because if you go too far to the left, you might slip and fall down. Okay, so here's a pretty good spot. Maybe we can look out over the water and everything. Beautiful kayakers heading out. There's a bench here if you want to have a seat.
Where we stopped there?
No, but there's other people on those benches. So, you know, the first person here today. And let's just come down here a little bit. And just have a seat there. Yeah, so looking out here, I mean, we can see the tide's halfway out. Active hiker, so this is a great hike for her. Good for me too. I don't really like hiking all that much. I don't like it to be strenuous.
So it's good for me to hike with hands. If you don't go extra fast.
Nah. Look at that tree right there. You turn the corner. There's just this beautiful big fir, hemlock, cedar, whatever. Massive. I mean, it's not a 1,000-year-old tree, but that's a big one. You can see there. Just look. That's beautiful. The sun's going down. Do you see the guy jackhammering there? Joint hanging out of his mouth while he's working. That's very Lund. It's very Paul River, actually. So, socially distanced, very brilliant, very beautiful. She's standing on top of the hill, above the rocks, in the trees. There's some small fruit trees, and he's at the bottom with the drum. So it sounds like she's playing to him, and he's responding with the drum. It's a beautiful thing. But this is beautiful.
One time I did a workshop, right, and I had these PowerPoint slides. On there, I put down this point: let go of your self-defecating beliefs. I meant to say like self-defeating beliefs, but I said self-defecating beliefs. So I wasn't aware of it, and this was like a professional setting. And later on, my friend told me about it, and I was really embarrassed, but there was nothing I could do at that point other than to laugh it off. Listen to music. I love listening to music. So this morning, when I had a shower, right, I turned up happy music, not the sad one, not the one where you would listen when you break up with someone and it's so depressing, and not that one. Listen to the one that's happy. And so be happy and smile. Yay! Bye. Oh, I'm blind. Who cares about how I look? People should accept me for who I am. Oh, I'm a therapist. I should just focus on the mind, not the body. Oh, if I do a video on look and appearance, people are going to think that I'm vain and shallow. But sometimes this is how she would sit with them. Isn't she cute? Yes. And so it helps the clients to relax and feel comfortable. This is
Essie
her
is my guide
doggy
dog.
bed. Essie, go to bed. Go to bed. Lie down. There you go. Lie down, Essie. Lie down. And she would be there, very calm and very good dog. After the client has come to this office 2 or 3 times, didn't even realize there was a dog in there. In here, I mean. Now sometimes though, when I do hypnotherapy, Essie would start to dream, like, and so I would incorporate the sound and say, you know, as you hear the dogs dreaming, this reminds you of how simple and happy life can be. Sometimes some of my clients bring in their own dogs, and I don't want it to be distracting for us. So what do? I open this big closet and I put Essie in here. And as she comes. I gotta close the closet before she goes out. So like this. And Essie stay in there. And she will stay in there. And here is my wonderful waterfront office. We just finished this about 2 months ago. And this is a chair I'm sitting in to talk to clients. It can swivel a bit, so that's nice. And then I'm going to show you where the clients would be sitting. So here's the recliner. And they can sit here and kick back a bit, and maybe they can even see the water view when they look to the left. Yeah, it's really nice and quiet. We make it as soundproof as we can. And so you might ask, what do I do at the end of the day to enjoy and relax myself? So I come out on the deck right here. And so go out, smell the fresh ocean air, and sit on my hammock. Today is not too wavy. And I love swinging on the hammock. It reminds me of Vietnam and refugee camp as well. I used to swing a lot. Smell the fresh ocean air, and life is great despite COVID. Okay.
Just keep swinging.
No. Now this is another thing I use, a color teller. This will help to tell me the colors. Now a lot of time my clothes I just remember by the feel of it. So I don't really rely on it too much unless I have things that are identical. So I'm going to show you how wrong it can be. Now it's really, because right here there's the little icon, and so I place something in front of it, then it will tell me the color. Now what I'm wearing is purple, but listen. Blue. Is that blue? Okay, now my jeans is black. Black. Now this bag, we'll see what it say.
Light blue, turquoise,
It said green earlier.
dark green,
Right, there you go. So it's not always, especially clothes that have a lot of colors, then it's cannot rely on it.
If that restaurant offers, Asian food, Indian food, Vietnamese food, Canadian food, African food, probably nothing is really good. That's why we go to a Thai restaurant. Because we want Thai food.
And you know, right now I'm standing at the edge and I'm actually kind of scared because my husband told me, don't move your feet because you could fall. You could really fall down. To help yourself get through the fears, don't let the fear be the driver. You are the driver. Okay, so talk to you later. Bye.
They found me when they Googled the blind cook, and then they reached out to me and thought it was a hoax. And they were like, oh, you want to come to an audition? And so we're casting for the show, but we're not really sure if you exist. So
Quite amazing, isn't it? I think you really meant to be known and to be famous.
I think I was anonymous because I kind of didn't want to deal with maybe possible ridicule or people saying, who are you? How do you, you don't look blind, or how can you really cook or whatever. And I wasn't ready to deal with that. But they reached out to me and they said, we're coming to Austin, which is 2.5 hours away from my hometown of Houston. And why don't you come try out? And, they said, we're part of the show called Master Chef with Gordon Ramsay. And I recognize the name Gordon Ramsay. I don't watch him on TV, but I knew that my husband, I felt like I'd heard John mention his name before. So I'd run to, I think my husband was either in the bathroom or he was in the living room, but whatever, I ran to him and I was like, hey, John, do you know who Gordon Ramsay is? And he was like, yeah, he's the guy that does like Hell's Kitchen, the angry British chef. I mean, and the name was familiar. And then my husband was like, and then I told him about the email and I thought it was a joke,
Right.
Who is this? Like, shitty, like emailing me on my blog and like, whatever. I think this is fake. So I was like, let me just see what happens. And I replied to them and they said, oh, sure thing. Come to Austin on this. And I was like, all right, well, do I do it or not? And then my husband was like, are you crazy? Just do it. And we had to cook outside. We had to grill a bunch of steaks and make some sides. And I was in charge of the corn. And so I threw all the stupid corn
was so cute.
with the husks on the grill on high. And they were on fire. And I had no idea until Gordon Ramsay came over and told me that my fucking corn was on fire. And then that was that. And I had to start over.
I mean,
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about sex.
I've seen women like that who don't have the perfect body, but they are so they look sexual. They look like they assume their sexuality.
They have like a sexual aura.
They have a sexual aura. It's a very good term actually. But they're confident. They assume who they are. They're proud of who they are, and they present it on a platter. And they're like, "This is who I am." And it's beautiful to see women that are like that.
Tôi mới về tôi thông báo cho bà mẹ tôi biết, lúc đó mẹ tôi cũng còn ở chung với tôi, rồi sau này bà cũng còn ở, tôi mất thì tôi nói là tôi được nhận vô rồi, mừng quá bà, mừng quá. Rồi hỏi cái ngành nào vậy con? Tôi mới nói là ngành về tinh thần, bà ngồi khóc liền.
Sao vậy bác sĩ?
Dạ, tôi hỏi con má nghe nói đó, mấy người bác sĩ trị bệnh điên riết cũng điên luôn, thành ra thôi con đừng làm này nữa.
If you've been able to save your money and if you've been able to pay down your debt, making as much money as possible is not as important as just living a more balanced life.
I can identify with that because recently I resigned from a secure, high-paying job, to just go out and do my own private practice. So, and then we both Vietnamese, and we both people.
Yes, and we're both wearing very similar colors today. So.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, well, yours is red, mine is more coral, but definitely.
Oh, okay.
Same family group.
Yeah, and I think we're similar ages too. I think. Because I remember 7 years ago, I was living in Vancouver in a 1-bedroom apartment. And, freshly out of school, I had a big student loan, like $70,000. And then some debts on my credit cards at that time, so close to $100,000. And I remember reading some of the books. I think one of the books that really helped me was The Wealthy Barber.
Yes.
And he talked about
I read that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. And I read that when I was 35. And that really started to make me think about money and what can I do. And so I think within 6-7 years, I've been able to resign from a job and have a waterfront home and almost, not quite yet, mortgage free. And being able to, choose. If I want to work a lot for money, I can. If I don't, I'm okay too.
Exactly. Like that doesn't happen without planning, right? Another really interesting book that changed my life when I was young, I probably read as a teenager or a young adult, is called The Millionaire Next Door.
Chúc mừng năm mới.